Guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to a brand new video. My name's Simon down here at JD Golf Academy at Drayton Park Golf Club. And the last video I did on the TS series from Titleist, it did all right. So here I am doing one on the Fairways. Now before you go and smash that dislike button, because I haven't physically got it here, it's called the Tour Project because only Tour players are using them, such as Jimmy Walker and Ian Poulter. Now, I thought it'd be a good conversation starter. Now, we will be one of the first accounts to get hold of the equipment, so make sure to go and smash that subscribe button because I'll be using it on the GC quad, I'll be using it on the golf course, and I want to give a real in-depth analysis of the clubs because, let's be honest, they haven't brought much to the market that's really wowed us. That's not what Titleist do, to be fair. However, I feel like they've been lacking. I feel like they've been outdone for distance, especially against the likes of the Callaway Epic and the M4 and M3 drivers. So let's talk about the TS2 and TS3. Now, if you saw my last video, you'd know it's quite similar to the D2 and D3 series, and it's very similar. They've kept it similar this year in terms of the TS2 heads, especially with the driver and the fairway wood. They've got rid of the shore fit. Now, the difference I didn't see in my driver analysis was actually they've kept the active recoil channel in both the woods, but they haven't put it in the drivers, which is interesting because I want to know what they've done to the drivers. There's got to be some technology there because they need to make sure they're kind of shortening that gap between the other competitors. So it'd be very interesting when they give us a bit more of an update of what's going in that head. However, they've kept the active recoil channel in both of the fairways. Now, the difference between the two fairways is quite obvious. Shore fit, in terms of the CG, the way they can manipulate the head so you get more of a draw, more of a fade, is kept in the TS3. So obviously that's your more player wood, looking for a bit more height, a bit more spin, a bit more maneuverability, and it's going to be that slightly smaller head. Whereas obviously the TS2 is your more forgiving, let's say beginners, lower spinning, and in terms of bringing that CG all the way back, it's going to be slightly more forgiving as well. So there's obviously the analysis between the two heads. Again, I haven't got much in terms of the technology. However, I must say in terms of appearance, I love the look of them. Some people love it, some people don't like it in terms of the way they've tried to bring out outside the 917 range. I personally think they look quite sharp, quite clean. I feel like Titleist needs to start doing something to bring themselves back in the game. Now, the one thing I did notice, especially from address, if you're looking down at these fairway woods, is that they're very black, which I like, but very shiny. Now, I'm very lucky, I live in England, therefore it's overcast majority of the time, and I don't think the sun's really gonna matter that much in my game. However, as you can see, the sun is out at the moment, especially on the complexion of my face. But the sun's high. If I was out playing now, they look very chrome finish-like. Could that be off-putting? That is something that we possibly could have a look at, and something that could possibly put you off buying these clubs. Now, I'd like to see what Titleist can do with these clubs, because if you're a Titleist man, you will go with Titleist regardless. However, can Titleist bring something out this year that will convert people that don't play Titleist to then get them into the game? We get asked a lot for Callaway, especially a lot for Ping and a lot for TaylorMade. We don't get asked that much from Titleist. We fit it, no problem, good working club. However, we don't get asked as much. So will we be asked that question this year, coming over Christmas and going into next year, for Titleist products? And I feel like they needed to shake it up a bit. I feel like they needed to rebrand. And I feel that's exactly what they've done. In terms of shaft wise, I think it's going to be very similar down the driver route. We haven't seen much shaft options. It's going to be that Tensai range, it's going to be the Project X range, and I think especially in terms of the forums and the rumours is that they're going to give you a lot more upgradable shafts. I feel like that's where a lot of manufacturers are going now. They're going to give you more choice so that you don't have to pay extra for a particular shaft that suits your game, and is obviously going to give you the best out of that head going forward. Now, obviously, the clubs are going to be used on the PGA Tour this week with obviously Jimmy Walker and Ian Poulter, and it'll be interesting of the other players as well, such like Adam Scott. Will that put them in the mix? Will they start getting a win? I feel like they need a win. And the funny thing, or interesting thing that I want to get your guys' views on is, if it works on tour, does it necessarily work in the retail market? We sold tons of Ping stuff this year because it's great for that player, but not necessarily seen loads of wins. Obviously, Bubba done well. But if you look at in terms of tour wins converted to retail, it doesn't necessarily correlate that much. So it's interesting that obviously they're trying testing it on tour, but as we all know, we're not all tour players and we haven't all got tour swings. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on what you think about their approach, obviously filtering us this information instead of actually giving us all at once. Obviously they're trying to create a bit of a hype, and I've got nothing against that at all, if I could speak today. Anyway, that's as much as I got in terms of the TS2 and TS3 fairway woods. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, as I want to do a lot more of these update videos and a lot more testing videos as soon as we've got the products. As I say, we will have them before most. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.